What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Today, I'd really like to say thank you to all of my subscribers, people who've been sticking with me for a while now. You may have noticed that I haven't been able to spend as much time on the YouTube channel as I was in previous months. That's mainly due to the wedding. You might have seen that I put up a couple of videos from my bachelor party. The wedding is now less than 3 weeks away, so we're really in crunch mode. We have to spend a lot of time just kind of getting the last few details all set. So things that you remember from this channel are going to be making a return after the wedding. Rom-com is going to be a big one. I really can't wait to make that one come back. Game Tech, a series that was really popular, but I really almost had to abandon at this point. That will be returning after the wedding. All that stuff that you guys have really grown accustomed to. Hardware reviews. I can't wait to get back into hardware reviews. That's really actually a passion of mine. All that stuff is coming back. It's just a matter of the time crunch around the wedding. Now that it's only 3 weeks away, it's really gonna get, we'll get back to the basics very shortly. So with all that being said, let's talk about the reason for today's video, and that is the splitting of the Call of Duty Ghosts player base. This year's game was actually released on 6 different platforms, which was a huge effort from Infinity Ward. I actually think they deserve a bit of credit just for getting a playable version of a game out on 6 different platforms. I know that the PC guys had some complaints, but for the most part, it's been a very successful game and a very good game. Now, the problem here is by releasing the game on 6 different platforms, you're really splitting up the player base for the multiplayer game, right? Now, in the previous generations of the game, like Modern Warfare 3 or COD 4 or whatever game that you're talking about, there's basically been 3 or 4 versions of the game. There's been the Xbox 360 version, which I think is by far the most popular, PS3, PC, which has its own really hardcore following, and the Wii, which I don't even think that all the games came out on the Wii. I think that was really just select games came out on the Wii. And for the most part of this conversation, I'm really going to discount the Nintendo platforms just because I don't think that there's a huge Call of Duty following on the Nintendo platforms. So for the most part, there was 3. There was the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the PC, and you had your Call of Duty community split between those 3 platforms. And the 360 was by far the most popular. Now with Call of Duty Ghosts, you're splitting them between 6, which is, double the amount of platforms. You got the PC, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PS3, the PS4, and the Wii U. Again, I'm not going to talk a lot about the Wii U, so really we're going to talk about the big 5, okay? Now, PC, that remains to be the PC. The same guys who are playing PC in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 are probably playing the game on Call of Duty Ghosts and probably not that affected by this. But the console guys, the guys that used to play a lot of Xbox 360 or a lot of PS3, they're really seeing really small, really reduced numbers in the multiplayer of Call of Duty Ghosts, and that is mainly because it's so split up. Instead of having just 2 platforms, there's now 4 that are all competing for players. So there's still a lot of people playing Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox 360 and on the PS3, and now anybody who's upgraded to the new systems are playing on the Xbox One or the PS4. But what that has done is, let's say you have 100 people who play the game, right? And you've got them split in the old consoles between 2 consoles. And let's say it was 50-50, I'm sure it wasn't. But let's say you got 50 on the PS3 and 50 on the Xbox 360. This year, you've only got 25 on the PS3 and 25 on the Xbox 360 because you got 25 on the Xbox One and 25 on the PS4. And that problem is further exacerbated by the fact that you have people with varying levels of map content. So maybe, half the people who bought the PS4 version also got a season pass. So now instead of having 25 people in your playlist who are playing, with the new map pack, you've only got, let's say 14 just for easy math. What if, though, some people don't like the new Devastation map pack and deleted it? Or some people only like the Onslaught. Or some people only bought Onslaught, decided they didn't really love it, so never bought Devastation. You're further segregating your community, right? This year, just because this game has been released on so many platforms and the community is so spread out among those platforms, I really think that Activision and Infinity Ward need to make the map DLC free for everybody. Now maybe they could do a timed free release where after, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks it just becomes free for the entire community. I realize that season pass owners are going to get probably a little pissed off, like, hey, I spent $60 on a season pass for this game, why should other people be getting it free? But, you know, look at it this way. You paid for a season pass, you got the DLC, but the map pack is like empty, you know? If you go into playing some of the new maps and you want to play some Blitz, or you want to play this, or you want to play that, you know, there's just no players out there. You're playing players from California, if you're living on the East Coast, you know, the player base is just far too spread out. And I think that while they need to still release the DLC because people are expecting it and people paid for it, I think that it's having the effect of really spreading out the player base. And this year, they just can't afford it. They really need to consolidate their player base, at least until the Xbox 360 and the PS3 kind of die down. And that might not be this year. That might be in Call of Duty 2015, not necessarily Call of Duty 2014. By that, I mean the next game that we're talking about. A lot of people are calling it Modern Warfare 4 at this point, but it may be that the 360 and the PS3 are still really popular for Call of Duty 2014, and we can't really consolidate these playlists until 2015. Another thing they could do is just cut down on the number of playlists on each console. You know, I was looking at Blitz. I think I mentioned this before. There were only 28 players in this. You know, maybe take Blitz down for a month and put a different playlist up, or maybe don't even put that other playlist up. Maybe just shorten it to only having 6 playlists on each console, and those playlists are constantly full and they're constantly getting rotated out for different game types. That's how I see it for this game, though, is it's just too spread out. I was playing Free For All, there was only 800 people in the playlist, and that's just not enough for a really solid connection and a really good matchmaking experience, and I think they need to fix that. Just for this year, maybe for next year too. So thank you guys for watching, I really appreciate it. Click on either of the 2 videos you see on the screen, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.